How's it going, everybody? It's Man Tomorrow here. Let's give people a couple minutes to get in here. Let's give people a couple minutes to get in here so that way we can discuss this topic. I can discuss this topic so that way we can lay down the law and the rules of how these things are going to go, kind of moving forward with my involvement with these actual movements. What's going on, Bishop? What's going on, Magic Matrix? Because I knew this moment was going to come at some point. I knew this was going to show up at one point. I'm just saying, like, this is really what's going on, Jermaine Taylor. What's going on, Bruce Ellison? All right. Now, in order to discuss the situation, you have to go over the track record of how we got here in the first place. And you have to be brutally honest about what has happened here. Steal their ass back and save your community, black man. That's what the other two mean. Now, you have to understand that because I kind of empathize with where they're at. I don't care, but I had to, you have to put yourself in the other person's shoes in order to understand some issues, even though you really shouldn't. But you really have to understand how we got here in the first place. We got here in the first place because of societal humiliation. Oh, what's going on, Tri City? And Tie City, that's the whole point. This shit is just another reason to talk to women about meaningless bullshit. That's gonna be my actual overall point here. What's going on, Big Dog Pride? What's going on, RJ? What's going on, Ram Pooba? All right. So you have to realize we got into the situation because of free choice. That's how we got here. The women have free choice to choose whoever they want to have kids with. They've had free choice to abort people's kids at will. So the outcome that these women got were the outcomes that they wanted. It's not Red Pill Finance. All right, so the women got the outcome that they wanted. Because me, I'm in Generation X. I clearly seen these women getting totally accessed at very young ages by people from older Generation X and Boomer generation. Now, while all that stuff was going on, they were promised a group of men that they starved out who was going to come and save them from their actual outcomes of their action. That's what they were promised. They were promised these things. It's kind of like how you look at a person, let's say they commit a crime. They go to court. They pay for an attorney. We all the way down. Okay, so you go through the whole court process. This person is inside the court saying that he didn't commit such crimes. Then they pull out all the evidence showing that, nah, that's you on tape. There's tons of witnesses and everything else. We're down to the victim impact statements. When it comes time for this person to talk, now he's sorry for his actions. After going through that entire process, now this person is sorry. Now this person wants to to have the court system be lenient on them. After lying about the issue, about paying for an attorney to make it look like they wasn't involved in the issue at all, now they want things to be lenient against them. Now they want mercy from the family. Now they want forgiveness from the family. That's no different than where we are right now. These people freely created this community because they didn't give a damn about men. They wanted to create a whole bunch of mama's boys to have them have control over the trajectory of the community. That's what they created. I respect their free ability to choose the outcomes that they chose. But you have to understand that the only reason why they want you to be part of this thing is because people want to have conversations with these women online. They want to have these meaningless conversations with women online. They want to be seen around these women. They want to be seen being respected by these women online. And this is why I say that we don't need pretty women promoting SYSBM or Passport Bros. Nobody gives a shit that you understand and you respect the free ability of men to move around freely. If you respect us, then you would shut the fuck up about us. If you actually respected us. Like, we don't go around talking about you. Don't go around trying to be a voice for us. Because when you try to be a voice for us, you're building yourself your own platform. So that way you can have a bunch of thirsty ass men who thinking your ass is a pygmy to put your ass in some Melanie King type situation. We don't need that shit. Since people want to just pop up and be allies, you don't just let people pop up and be allies. If you want to ally with the United States is going to say what you're going to bring and where you're going to bring, what you're going to bring and where you're going to put it to good use. Because if you're trying to help, you're not going to come in and fight the battle that you want to fight. Because women are not built for battle. They built to talk. And they want to have a conversation in a place where they can have the most type of useless conversation. That's right, Jamal White. You got to bring tangibles. I don't want to hear this shit that you are the only pick me out of your fucking group that has got it. I don't want to hear that. What I want to hear something about this creation system that created you. I want to see more than just you. Because we're not going to be able to divide one pretty face amongst the millions of men that's been abused by this entire process itself. That's not a good deal. Again, we're talking about online. We're not talking about in real life. All right, so when my dad died and my mother never remarried, she was pretty much like that was it. Like, she didn't try to go fight those project bitches in the neighborhood because our house was surrounded by a whole bunch of apartments. That's how it was. Our house was a block of houses that was surrounded by projects. The projects were built around our square block of house. That was long ago. So freely we seen what the hell was going on in the community. These very unattractive women in very unattractive circumstances were sleeping with dudes who was clearly underage. And they did that to keep having more and more kids so that way they can stay in the project predicament where they was. Yes, they got access to infinite dick with no responsibilities, and the results were the projects. It came from the men who put them in those circumstances, and then it came from the kids of those men in those circumstances to help them maintain their position there. It's going there. So what I'm saying is, this is the outcome of the responsibility of a singular action. Remember, they were promised a group of disaffected men that they created, that they humiliated, that they made music behind. You had fake street dudes who should have been knocked the fuck out the moment they started saying that, oh, well, you know what? The woman was the one who told me. Like, bro, we should have never let that kind of stuff get off the ground. Because once you start saying that you are intentionally on the side of people who created the system in the first place, that is when you're operating outside your parameters against our best interests. A lot of these people just want to talk to these women online. Let's keep it real, man. That's why these dudes are here. They didn't come online to get their shit together. They came online to hang out. They came online to hang out with other people who also wanted to hang out because they wanted to talk to placebo women. Placebo women that they didn't have to get humiliated by, that they didn't have to get hurt by, that they didn't have to risk anything for. And this is what's going on. It's the men who created the actual circumstance of empowering the basic bitch. The men empowered the basic bitch. The men empowered women to have basic sexual access, to turn that into something that we should be arguing at each other's throats over. It's the men who created the entire system. It's the men who created the entire system. Hold on a second. It's the men who created the entire system. Let me tell you how the men created the entire system. The men were the one who wanted to do everything in the world but participate in the process of creating our own power. It's the men who did that. The older men who did that. I think like one or two of my uncles was part of that type of BS too. Well, rather than get a job and build your own power, he chose to steal and take for other people and be a shiesty ass dude. Why? Because it was easy. Not only was it easy, there was no consequences for doing so. And all of this stuff that he took from working class people, I'm talking about my uncle here, he will hold over the head of other working class people. Because rather than spending 40 or 50 hours in the actual factory, he could just lean on a woman to go out there and get the money from these actual dudes so that way it could be spent back on him. At that point is when you should have walked away from the ideal of community at that point. Because me, I think the ideal of community has been rewritten and redrawn in the way that does not fit any man. For me, my teaching by my grandfather is that my community starts with my household. My household. The reason why the community starts at your household is because you are responsible for what you create. They have outsourced the community to mean the outcomes of their actions that they're not responsible for, that you're going to be responsible for. That's how they rewrote what community actually meant. I get it. Trust me, I do. When a woman is talking about community, I get what she's talking about. She is talking about how she looks to the rest of the world with basic bitches, with basic level of bringing shit to the table. They are empowered by basic bitches having power. So when a woman is talking about a community and a simp is talking about a community, it's quite different from a man talking about a community. Because a woman is going to come to her defense of her homegirls every time. Why? We built an entire system, or let an entire system be built where women can freely do that with no consequence. Men let that shit happen. Men could have said at some specific point, listen, if you're trying to throw the trajectory of our gender under this type of framework, we're going to stop messing with you altogether. Men clearly had that ability to say, you know what? I don't like what you chose. I don't like what you did. When I get my level of choosing, best believe I'm not choosing your ass. So said well. Again, all of this stuff is still our fault. And all of this stuff is still our responsibility. I'm talking about the choices we make in our own lives, not cleaning up after other people. Because all this stuff is really, it's just a long form version of the cleanup man. That's all it is. I'm saying this: if you're gonna be a cleanup man, you better get a nonprofit organization and get paid millions of dollars by the federal government to do this stuff. Don't settle for just access to women and being able to talk to them as your payment of why you're getting in the middle of this stuff. There is a hefty price to be paid for this toxic spill of the community. Again, we know these people are not the best options. Again, the only thing they care about, the only thing these colorist crybabies care about is the color of the family. They don't care about the operational capacity of the family. That's what happened. People stopped caring about the operational capacity of the family and start caring more about color of the family. Man, dude, Stuart, hey man, listen, bro. I start laughing like a motherfucker. I start howling like a wolf when she started crying, bro. I'm serious. I'm serious. I'm serious. I started laughing, man. I started laughing, bro. I started laughing. Come on, stop saying. We don't need your help, man. Our choice of leaving this stuff alone is not about bringing you in to be an overseer of what we're actually doing. Said the real thing for the $10 super chat. Salute MOT. Yeah. It's called Courtney Smith. So you have to understand this. Let's set the bar for these women who quote unquote want to be our allies. Of course, you're supposed to think it's hilarious, man. There's nothing wrong with laughing at stupid shit. I don't care how sincere she is. We got some insincere ass results. I don't give a fuck about one motherfucker crying, bro. I don't care about that. Let's set some standards for them. The standard is you're going to go out here and promote Passport Bros and SYSBM. That's what you're going to promote. You're going to promote it, but you're not going to promote it online. You're going to promote it offline. All right. You got to promote it offline. Because here's the thing. This shit was just an offshoot of the pick-me bullshit, where we wanted to hear pretty women feel our pain and all this type of goofy ass shit. I never believed it because it was too easy. And they didn't have to risk anything to do that. They can merely just turn on their camera, come with basic beauty, which is a woman's responsibility to maximize her beauty, and just get a platform based on pretending like you give a shit about issues that you can't solve. Oh, Colorado. Uh, Rael, it means stay your black ass here. STAB is still their ass back, and the other one is save your community, black man. It's all retarded. It's all ridiculous. It's all ridiculous. It's too easy to become an ally of disaffected men. When Melanie King was asked the question about why she didn't go to Kevin Samuels' funeral by that, I think, Asian guy, this woman turned up in a way that all ratchets act like. You don't get to ask her legitimate questions to make her look stupid and dumb. You don't get to ask her anything like that. What's going on, Quiz the Prince? What's going on, Andre Brown? All this because you didn't want to follow red pill information when men were talking about it. You wanted to hear a woman, an older woman at that, talk about it. Not because you wanted to actually follow the actual information, because you know what the information is. You wanted the woman to talk about it so that way you could just see her talk about the information and you was never going to follow it. Now you have all these purple pill guys trying to redefine what red pill means. Red pill only means like a level of awareness. You know what you're getting yourself into. You know what the consequences are. What's going on, Mom Perry? So now once you take yourself from knowing what a level of awareness is, and once you start practicing these things inside your personal life to go get access again, then you're not red pill anymore. I'm sorry, you're not red pill anymore. I mean, you have goofies coming out here saying that they're part of the red pill community. There is no red pill community. Having a knowledge and awareness of an actual truth doesn't make you a community. Just like it doesn't make you a community to notice that if that's a lion's cage, you're not going to take your ass in that lion's cage. Having a level of awareness that that is dangerous and that you shouldn't do that, there's no community to be made out of that. But now once you start trying to sell answers to this actual situation, that's when you want to be a community. No, this shit turned into a bunch of grifters. A bunch of grifters who actually want to go to disaffected men with no type of experience and giving them the courage to take their ass into a situation that they shouldn't be in. That's why I don't give a shit about none of those people. I don't even go to any of their channels. I don't do any of that shit. Why? Because I went to another culture and got me another woman with the actual training that's needed for the job that is laid before her. I urge you to do the same thing. Go get better trained people. That's what culture is. Go get better trained people. What's going on, Sexy Red? What's going on, Archer? And the reason why I say this is because if they change the actual level of community that meant productive man, feminine woman, if that's just changed, that they change to thirsty man, productive woman, that's what it is. I'm like, bro, listen, man, we're all responsible for our own actions inside this household. That's why I say it's meaningless to talk to women online for the most part. Because we don't know what these women are doing once they turn the internet off, once they turn these platforms off. We don't know. There's no way of verifying. Hell, that's not even a way of verifying what the men do once they get offline. But that's the problem here. The problem here is that you have the inability to make choices that benefit you. You only want to make choices that benefit other people. This makes absolutely no sense. At this point in time, the people who are complaining about women, the dudes who wanted to build their whole life around correcting women, are the fucking problem. The problem is keep trying to correct people who don't see any reason to be corrected. You can't correct something at this point. You can't correct something at this point. You can have a Truth and Reconciliation Commission to give them another chance, but you can't correct these actual outcomes. And the more time you waste waiting on them to change their mind because they're in a situation where they need help, you're going to be putting yourself in danger. Listen, I don't want women to take a bad deal either. I would never tell a woman, look, you got to take this bad deal because I want the family to be a certain type of color. So you're going to take your ass out there and make a bad deal. I would never tell a woman some stupid shit like that. I don't even tell my nieces some shit like that. I don't even tell my sister to do no shit like that. You got to start caring about the operational capacity, folks. You got to start caring about the operational capacity. Because we tried it the skin color way. We have the outcome of a community created by game. We have the outcome of a community created by people who didn't care about what they created. We have that outcome already. We have the statistics already. We already have people who decided to go get a PhD in bullshit and play with people's emotions. We already have that. We already have the majority of men who decided to forego the productivity piece, to artificially keep themselves behind, to keep themselves relevant to a subsegment of people. We already have that already. Say it again, Jamal White. Because to get the bad culture is the culture. That's the culture. The culture is keep this corruption going long enough so that way I can get a voice for it. How many of these washed up fucking rappers you see trying to do news and commentary and all this shit about the outcome of the community that they created music for? How many of these washed up 50-year-olds that you see still trying to keep this shit going, still trying to keep their relevance hot, still trying to keep their name out here, still trying to be in front of people that they provide no type of benefit to, still doing it? Still doing it. Not really caring about an entire process of fixing something, but just want to come up with a plan, go run up in somebody's face, and think that they're supposed to change something. It's not going to change anything, folks. You're on the ground floor of making sure that you're in the best position that you're going to be in. Fuck a community. Your community is your household. You have to redefine the community back into meaning your household. Of course, rappers are the worst. Of course they are. They went to groups of people who was not going to treat them right to exploit their own community, talking about things that they never did. And they did it for money, knowing damn well that most of the people who tried to live up to this phony ass image was going to end up dying doing so. These are the people you want running your politics. These are the people you want running this actual shit. And I would question a PhD's sanity. You know, a PhD, because I was going to get one myself until I went to that actual conference. And I'm like, I don't want to be surrounded by these people, and I don't want this type of credential. I went to my first residency out of order. I was supposed to go at the end, but I lobbied to get into the beginning, and I'm glad I went. What I seen when I went to that actual conference in Seattle was a bunch of ineffectual people who didn't want to solve any fucking problem. And all of these people ended up in education, and they became meaningless pieces of shit who still haven't done anything. That's what happened to the grand majority of PhDs. And then you have like the Greg Carr, the Rashard Ritchie PhDs who are actually out here doing shit in the actual community, who are actually speaking out against shit. Tons of PhDs that went to Mississippi Valley, Jackson State. Their outcomes are quite different of what they do in the community versus most of these people who want to attach themselves to the actual black culture base of bullshit and provide nothing. What I'm saying is we got outcomes that we got to change here. And you can't use the same equipment, untrained equipment, to get different outcomes than that's already laid there for them. Like I said, this entire culture promised them the fact that they were never going to take responsibility for their actions. This entire culture promised them that. That's what happened. So you want to go from monopolizing your choices to monopolizing other people's choices. You want to go from not caring about the outcome of the community to caring about the men's outcome that you left behind within the community. Now you want to be a team? You want to be a team now? Save your community, black man. It's not ours. It's yours. You created it. You're responsible for it. We're not responsible for cleanup. We're not. You created this on purpose. You supplanted the men, the productive ones, with bitch ass niggas and street motherfuckers. That's what y'all did. And listen, I'm not ever gonna let a woman gaslight me to my face that that's the issue. I tell a woman like this: I'm past the sexual politics piece. We need to get past that shit and figure out some shit we can actually work on. Because creating a family through this type of shit, that ain't gonna work. But we still got to work together outside that issue. You are correct, Shimon Carter. You are correct, God King. Say it again, Down Toes Clutch. You want to be a sympathizer to the damn problem. You want to be a sympathizer. You want to ride that fine line in the middle. We got all these problems that are going on here, but nobody's talking about the problem at all. No one is talking about the actual production system at all. No one is talking about how to fix this shit at all. They're actually depending on you to go through the same system, the same issues that created this system in the first place. These people ain't trying to lose their voice. They just got their voice because of our problems. They're not about to give up their voice. They're not about to let this community be something better than what they are. I keep telling you, these people around here do not want to see men win. I'm not talking about just black men. I'm talking about all men. But we want to pass the buck to complain about motherfucking immigrants? When we can't even work together within this fucking society to make sure that we give our future to proper fucking women? But you want to complain about immigrants? Immigrants. You want to complain about immigrants. You want to complain about feminists who've already foregone the family creation structure to go for their own happiness, which is their right to do. But a lot of these dumb motherfuckers still want to create families with these type of women. There's a two-pronged side here. There are men and there are women who is responsible for this outcome. Because women are not asexual. They didn't have them kids by themselves. There was a group of men who wanted to be the people who helped them create this problem in the first place. There were men who wanted to do that. There were men who wanted to be celebrated as fucking alphas. You know, the type of alpha that makes all the kids and end up dying over some bullshit later like a fucking animal. They didn't want to be the type of alpha that actually had the responsibility for leading and feeding the entire group. Oh, no, no, no. Fuck being that type of alpha. I'm going to be this type of alpha right here that who just want to have all the fucking kids for everybody else to take care of. Again, nobody did this shit for me. This is shit I had to figure out on my own. I had to separate from these people on my own. I had to produce shit on my own. I had to build shit on my own. And then I had to keep it the fuck away from these people on my own. You're going to have to do the same thing. When people are calling themselves a cultural conservative, when people are talking about black culture, they mean spreading dysfunction. That's what they mean. No responsibility being paid for actual actions taken toward most of the men within the environment. That's what they mean. They don't mean getting behind Robert F. Smith and seeing what the hell he did within his life to create something. They mean getting behind motherfuckers like Ice Cube and Kanye West. Entertainers. That's what they want to get behind. They want progress to be colored with bullshit so that way it won't function properly. That's the only reason why you would get behind people that don't have the background to produce the change that's needed for things to change. Yeah, Killer Mike, same shit. I don't want to hear this pick me shit. I don't want to hear this relationship talk shit. Because the only thing it's doing is actually is having the opposite effect that you think it's having. People are not coming together. People are figuring out that they ain't got to play the system by a specific set of rules. They can go get their shit now. No consequences. If you spread the fact that there are no consequences among the entire group, you'll have a fake level of gatekeepers that you created that's going to maintain the system. A lot of these unproductive ass men, they don't want to see men run shit. Because if men actually ran shit, they don't have a position in the new world where men actually ran shit. They don't have a place among operational families. These people are never held to any type of responsibility or account for the people that they quote unquote supposed to want to represent and help. The only thing they have is talking about the 94 crime bill. Here's the thing about the 94 crime bill. I don't give a fuck about you if you are a user of those substances. I don't give a goddamn about you being a user of those substances. I don't give a goddamn about you selling those fucking substances. Because everybody else in the United States were fucking over policed because of you two groups of fucking traitors. Nobody told you to sell that shit. Nobody told you to smoke that shit. But we all paid the fucking cost of that shit because you picked that shit up. Those things were inanimate fucking objects to bring out the bitch in you. Talking about what the fucking government did. Nobody made you smoke that shit. Nobody made you carry that shit around. Nobody made you do that. You did that on your motherfucking own, man. And we all paid the price for it collectively. You see, nobody ever talks about code when it's some shit like that. Okay, how come you wasn't on code for not picking that bullshit up and selling it and using it? That's what I'm saying. A lot of these lame ass niggas are in jail too. I can't tell you how many motherfuckers I've seen get life sentences for walking up into a motherfucker's face, hitting somebody that hit their head on the concrete, that person have a seizure, dead. This woman has went on fucking with somebody else and this dude got a life sentence. 15 to life, 25 to life. This dude didn't know this woman from Adam, but he went there and got a life sentence for getting gassed up and getting off into a situation that he had no business being in. Say it again, Sexy Red. I don't want to hear from these fucking traitors. You are a fucking traitor. And you got some fucking nerve to come around us trying to make the whole conversation be centered around your broke ass. Whole conversation to be centered around your unproductive ass. You got some fucking nerve. A simple system called fucking democracy that you don't want to participate in. Simple fucking system. Haven't changed in 300 fucking years. But you want to do everything possible to do things the wrong fucking way. I get that you are so far down this road. So far down this road. But you got to drop this shit, man. We have this results of this fucking community, and it ain't going back. This is a fucking hard-boiled egg. This is a fucking egg over easy. You are not about to turn this egg into a goddamn yolk again. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Let's talk about this mainstream manosphere shit. How much less respect you think the world is going to have for us if we broadcast to the fucking world How stupid we are to try to make families out of people who ain't got it in them. How fucking dumb you think we're gonna look as a collective of men if we mainstream and broadcast our insecurities and shit that we clearly could have fixed but decided not to the entire world? How dumb you think we gonna fucking look? Just so that way a couple people can get paid? Just so that way a couple people can look like they're a fake gatekeeper or a fuck or a fake answer to questions? Just so that way you can represent disaffected men. Not that you're gonna lead them somewhere different. You're here to feed off their fucking pain. Again, there are men and women who's responsible for this shit. There are productive men who's also responsible for this shit too. You keep trying to unify two groups of people that need to be far apart. There is no unification or reunification with the people who cause these problems in the first place. You got to separate from them. You mean to tell me all the fucking work that I put in, right now I'm in Mexico, all the work that I fucking put in, I'm on vacation and I'm still at work. Still trying to figure out how shit works. Around culture motherfuckers who actually want to do shit. I could put money into these motherfuckers, put 10 or 15 motherfuckers to work quite easily. No problem. I cannot do this type of shit in the state. I work with better people to get a better outcome. I'm not going to work with the same people and expect a better outcome. That's the actual thing that they push down on, that we need to give up on. Most of these people are only here to re-perpetuate the same bullshit that's here. They ain't trying to change it. They ain't trying to change it. You need new people to get this stuff done. You need new people. You have to care about the outcome and the result. You got to stop trying to base everything off skin color. We got the skin color community. We have it right now. It's not functioning. Nobody seems to give a fuck about that. But we got the blackest family that we could possibly have right now. You think the white community ain't going through the same shit? Go to rural fucking America. Go to rural Kentucky. Go to rural Ohio, especially Indiana. Anywhere in this fucking Rust Belt, they're suffering the same consequences that used to be exclusive to black people 30 years ago. They're just now going through it. Rather than having their own people, drug dealers, pieces of shit, selling actual shit, it was corporate America that sold them all that shit. It was corporate America that put them on all the drugs, the easy answer to shit. And they got the same outcomes that we got. So you got to stop thinking that we ain't the only people being affected. There's a lot of other people being affected. It's just that they're not trying to over-criminalize their actual group of people. That's how come it's not covered the way ours was. At this point, it doesn't give a fuck about what the fuck you was on before. You got to have better results, man. These people who just want to come online and just talk about this community shit. Oh, I'm putting in the work. I'm putting in the work. Motherfucker, you're just talking. If you were putting in the work, you would have a truckload of motherfucking women for these dudes to actually interact with. That's what the work looks like. That's what work looks like. Providing alternatives. That's what the work looks like. Nobody needs to feel your pain shit so that way you can get some super chat money and all that kind of goofy shit. No. If you want to bring actual allies, you bring allies. Cheerleaders are not a part of football. There's no cheerleader that you're going to put on the team that's going to make the football team better. You need actual quarterbacks and linemen and wide receivers and people in the secondary to make the football team work. This cheerleader shit ain't helping us, man. Don't dare come to the like. Listen, my mother didn't have to put in any work either. She was just around the correct motherfucker. My mother didn't go around trying to fight project bitches and try to stop them from fucking young dudes. My mother wasn't out there trying to do that shit. My mother just like, man, fuck these motherfuckers. I'm gonna hang over here with the people who doing it right. That's right. But it's also important to know the process of how to turn one of these motherfuckers or transmute them from lead to gold. You got to know what the process is and what it takes. So that way you can know immediately how much work you ain't going to put in to a motherfucker. That's the thing. You got to know how much work you are not going to put in on a person. All these people need do-overs. All these people need help. But they built this shit themselves, though. They knew what they were doing. Like a child knows the difference between chocolate pudding and fucking broccoli. If you go throughout life eating chocolate pudding and chocolate pudding only, you're going to have a bunch of health problems. I'm sorry, but it's time for them to suffer the consequences of the actions that they chose and the actions that they took against other people. They did it for their own benefit. And for your own benefit, you got to leave them to it. Of course, you're going to have a bunch of PhDs and people who try to come through and try to direct their anger of their outcomes on the people that's not responsible. That's also a huge market. The redirecting people's hatred from their own responsibility and putting this shit on to other people that are not responsible. You might have to. What's going on, Israel? You're online. But that's where we at, folks. This is why you have so many unproductive people who have crowded the actual black manosphere space, or who crowded the manosphere period. They're trying to sell you compromise as progress. They're trying to sell you consistent compromise as progress. We're talking about credentialed individuals that went through a very specific system to get their PhD, lining up behind clowns like Ice Cube and his contract with Black America. When none of these people care about these actual things except for maintaining the same circumstances. This is where we at, folks. You're responsible for the outcome of the action. Ain't nobody else responsible for that shit. Oh, well, you should listen to her. No, man. She's here to build a platform off of your problems that you're going to pay her for, that she's not going to solve. These women, when they create platforms, huge platforms off of our fucking problems, after the platform's built, they don't give a fuck about you no more. They're gone. That's why we don't need people talking about how they allies of passport bros and SYSBM. If you're an ally, go fight them ratchets. Because them ratchets gonna find out. Every piece of thug dick you ever fucking had, them ratchets is gonna find the fuck out. And they're gonna put that shit out there on motherfucking Front Street. Because that's their fucking job. I trust women to do that. I trust the motherfucking women to be like, look, you part of the sisterhood too. Don't play with us. Don't make us go look you up. That's what I'm saying, man. This pick me bush, man, fuck that. Provide some goddamn actual reinforcement. Erica Williams, classic climb rock. You throw energy here and there, solutions on. Yeah. My solution is, Erica, is that this shit is your responsibility to make it here. It's your responsibility. Not a community, not a better start, none of that shit. The better start, like me, I was given perspective, not resources. I was given perspective. I came from rural fucking Mississippi. I seen there was no motherfucking jobs. Every coach, every teacher, my grandfather, everybody was saying, get the fuck out of this city. Go see the world. Okay, they ain't got no room in their house. They ain't got no room in their apartment for you to be there. Go to the military. Do something. But you better get your ass out of here. Because if you stay here for too long in the Mississippi Delta, this shit becomes you. And you're never going to be able to get out of here. Like last week, I went to homecoming. A bunch of people still stuck down there. Still can't get out of there. Some of these people had kids at 16, 17 years old. They're just now able to go out and adventure with life. Now their child support ain't on their back anymore. That's what I'm saying. You're on the ground floor figuring all this shit out. You ain't got to figure it out. You better go get yourself a fucking dental tech license. Go make $18 to $25 an hour. Turn that shit into a $50 to $75 an hour motherfucking as needed basis for all the dentists in the area. A lot of people do that shit. A lot of people get into HVAC, do the same thing. Start working with somebody, $18 to $20 an hour. Next thing you know, they get their own outfit. Next thing you know, they're being called out for $150, $250 an hour. No degrees needed. 3-4 weeks of training. Getting the CDL. 3 weeks, you guarantee 6 figures within a couple of years. Again, there's no reason to be stuck at the bottom. There's no reason to be at a minimum wage job, man. No reason. Rocky, and thanks for the $10 super chat. Productive men being reduced to a coupon. Can't spell motivation without MOT. Yeah, can't do it. Can't do it. There's no reason to be trapped at the bottom. There's no reason nowadays. There's no reason. Perhaps you in the wrong city. That's cool. I was in the wrong city. Almost got trapped in the wrong city after I fucking got back on my feet. You know what I did? Went somewhere else. Went somewhere else. Where the market was a hell of a lot better. Went somewhere else. Went somewhere else. You gotta stop blaming other people, man. And the people who talk about this community shit, only broke motherfuckers talk about community. I never seen lawyers, doctors, attorneys. I'm talking about like people who work on people, doctors, not PhD bullshit doctors. I never heard these people talk about community. When these people get off work after working 12 to 16 hours a day, they go back to their quote unquote community where you had to earn your way into that community where they live at. That community, you had to have some buy-in to get there. But we allow people to use community as a weapon against everyone else. The community is your household. Don't tell me that you got so much fixed inside your household that you got all this room to focus on other people. Don't tell me no bullshit like that. Don't tell me no bullshit like that. What's going on, Renaissance, man? That's the problem. That's the problem. You don't need better representatives to talk to you and to feel your pain. You need actual reinforcements. And those reinforcements are not going to show up on your doorstep. You're going to have to go out into the world and go find your goddamn answers. They're not coming to you. Ibmore Red Pill 81. Thanks for the $20 super chat. Great stream. Yes. You're going to have to leave your position of comfort to go out there in chaos and grab a piece of that world and bring it back home to you. Dude, it's tons of people you can work with out in the world. They just ain't here. They just ain't here. You got to move past this actual idea that people that look like you want your actual type of outcomes. They don't want your type of outcomes. They don't want it. You got to go find like-minded people, and the like-minded people are not around you. You're gonna have to go out and find those like-minded people. That's the real shit. Going out and finding your own answers for yourself. There is no failed man who's gonna lead me to a better fucking life. No YouTuber is about to lead you to a better fucking outcome. They're gonna lead your ass into a situation that's gonna keep re-perpetuating their power over you. They're not gonna lead you to a place that's gonna be independent of their design. They're not gonna do nothing like that. This is up to you to fix. The people who are complaining about community right now, those are the people that you shouldn't be about. Those are the people who you shouldn't be like. Those are not the people who you team up with. Because everybody only wanted to be community minded when it came time to fix shit that was wrong. Nobody had the good sense enough to be community minded before the shit ended up the way it ended up now. You don't hear any of these community minded motherfuckers talking about holding people accountable, holding people responsible for making this shit the way it is in the first place, for the outcome currently of the fucking boys. You don't hear nobody trying to hold nobody accountable over that shit. You don't hear it. But everybody got this fake ass concern when it comes for cleanup. Are they gonna clean up? No. They're trying to socialize you into being more community minded than they are, so that way you could clean up their mess that they made. You're owed a good life. You're owed a good life, and it is your responsibility to get it. It's your responsibility to make sure that your household is straight. If you ain't got a household, then make sure that you straight. Rather than most of these men online trying to turn you into a sexual opportunist who want to use all this game on low hanging fruit, and then you wonder why your ass is in child support court. Dude, you can use that same ingenuity to go out here and get a skill and get a job and stay the fuck away from this bullshit. Don't you realize you're gonna have to turn a hell of a lot of this shit down anyway? There's nothing wrong with putting your head down for 2 or 3 years, concentrating on the skill, and having a better outcome than everybody in your family. I know I had to keep it techie because that shit wasn't gonna happen in the Mississippi Delta. Hell, shit, we didn't even have a car. Had to get the hell up out of there. Had to get up out of there. We need to start focusing on the winners, man. We need to start focusing on the people who want to be winners. These people have had their say. They've had 2 generations, 1970 to 2020. They had 2 generations of their say. We know what trajectory we took the men, the women, the boys, the culture into in 50 years. We know where we took the people who was raised off jazz and all that type of shit. We knew where this shit went. We knew where it went. And now that you have all this information, you got to have a better outcome. People want to play the race card because that's the only thing they bring to the table. They don't have anything else but race. They don't have anything else but color to bring to the table. Most of the people you team up with, they're not even going to look like you. They're definitely not going to have your background, but they're going to want the same results you have. You have to understand, as being a productive and successful person, you are already an anomaly within that group. You're already an anomaly within a group. You're an anomaly within an anomaly within an anomaly. You can't bring these people with you. You got to leave those people where they're at. They have to be a living example of what not to do. If you keep saving them, if you keep rescuing them, the only thing that they learned is that somebody at some point in time is going to take care of these responsibilities for me. We got to stop letting that be our legacy. We have to stop letting that be our legacy. We have to stop focusing on broken people, man. You give them information and then you walk off. They're going to decide what they do with the information or not. Most of these people are here to chill out, man. This is the new corner store outside the liquor store till 10 o'clock, and they turn the lights out. That's what this place has turned into. It's not that hard to get started, man. But a lot of these people are too far down this road that they don't want to get started. And SYSBM passport, bro, dude, all it is free choice. Radicalized, self-interest based free choice. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's no different than any other choice of ketchup or mustard. It's just that this ketchup or mustard is going to be on this sandwich. It's going to do me some good here. That's the only thing it is. Dominican man, what's going on? I'm going to drop the link out there. I got about 30 minutes. Nobody comes up. I'm going to get back on this plane tomorrow. I'm going to come back to the States. I had fun out here for the week that I was out here. Yeah, but this port game is just too corrupt to do some things around here, man. I gotta help these people do something, but they can't do some of the big shit. It's too corrupt. But you can still be able to make money out here, but it not the way you think you can make money. That stuff is controlled by a hell of a lot of other people. Controlled by a hell of a lot of other people and other forces and shit. And these people, they don't know how to negotiate things like that, and nor should they need to learn how to, because these are not people that you want to deal with anyway. They're not people you want to deal with anyway. So these community-minded people, what you got to do at this point is you got to allow them to bring real reinforcements other than talk. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hey, what's going on? What's going on, Red Sox, man? What's going on?
Hey, what's up, people? T?
Yeah, it's Jalapa Enriquez. It's in Veracruz.
Oh, okay. Nah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say on Now it was funny because I was talking to someone else's stream earlier. There said that same whole community thing came up. Um, quote unquote, being community minded, and it's the same thing we're talking about. Is part of it is people have been so down for so long is they don't know what success looks like, so they think
Yeah.
success is just like a one time thing, that it's not something you got to do every day. They think it's just kind of like, oh, you made it out, so you got a bunch of money, so go just break me off, whatever, and then I'm good for life. And it's like, no, like you gotta constantly be like striving to get better, pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, just exploring new things, meeting new people. Like it's a whole mindset and a lifestyle change. And that's what people really don't, some of them do realize it, and that's why I think a lot of people kind of stay in the BS is they understand the real cost of, oh, okay, like if I truly decide to get it together, like it's going to entail me moving. Then when I move, I'm going to be different. I'm not going to fit in with these people when I come back. Like it's truly coming from where we come from. It's truly a lifestyle change. Like you got to change up everything pretty much.
Oh, it is. It was just kind of like it's just kind of like starting all over. It's kind of like starting out from square one, level one. That's what it is. You're going to have to start your life completely over without these things going on. You're going to have to start your life completely over without these things mattering. Yes, you're going to have to throw your whole life away in order to live the proper and correct thing. It is a lifestyle change. And you cannot bring any of these old people with you because you're going to be living that compromised lifestyle, and then pretty soon you're going to be back in the same circumstance. A lot of people don't, they do get it. It's just that they want to try to ride the fence in kind of both ways, kind of on both areas. And that's how they end up not really changing because they put two things together. They kind of put ignorance and greed together. Well, separate, they're not really that much of a problem, but you put them together and they're forced to be reckoned with. That's why they think that, oh, well, that guy's a doctor. He makes 100 grand a year. I could make 100 grand a year. I could go in there and work on people. Like, no, this person spent 8 to 10 years of their life not producing in order to be where they're at right now. They was like, okay, I'm gonna speed past the 10 years of hard work and all this stuff, and I just want the outcome. But this has been a life. They've just been sitting around and waiting around until somebody cared about their situation more than they did, and that's what happened. They got what they wanted by just waiting people out. And we just can't allow these people to manipulate other people into thinking that their responsibilities are their own. Like these young ass kids I used to run into when I was part of the force. A lot of these dudes are doing all this stupid shit on the behalf of adults. These kids think that they have to take care of adult responsibilities at 13 and 14 years old, selling drugs and breaking in cars and doing all this stupid ass shit on the behalf of older people. Nah, man, it's not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to be a kid, enjoy yourself, and build your life.
Yep. That's why when you said you went back for homecoming and you said basically saw people who never left. That's the thing. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Like you stay, you pretty much, yeah, your life's gonna get grounded in that, and then it becomes even harder. That's why, like,
Way hard, dude. It's like telling
it's
these
like
people
quicksand.
about yeah. It's like people like Mexico. Why are you going to Mexico? Isn't it dangerous out there? I'm like, it's dangerous here too. Don't
Yo,
get it twisted. We can get shot out here.
that's the worst part. It's like when you do go abroad, if you deal with people like that who haven't, they'll be like, "Are you sure?" Like, and I'm just like, y'all really have gotten into that whole like mentality of America's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and there ain't nothing going on outside of this country. Or you think Mexico is, oh, I see all these migrants run across the border, so it must be horrible over there. And it's like, nah, that's a certain subset. Like, there's some super nice ass places in Mexico that a lot of Americans are going to retire in.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like, but then again, you're telling these people about things that are so far. Everything's a moonshot. Moving across the country, that becomes a moonshot when it's pretty easy if you got your productivity right. But these are the same people who get 5 and 6 grand on EITC every year, and they just blow the money. Could easily use that money to get the hell up out of there. Use that money to move somewhere else, live in a crappy place for a year, go get a job, go get a skill, move up out of there. I tell people how simple it is. And I've told people how simple it was, and they just simply, oh, I guess I'll get around to it, when I get, and 26 years later, them dudes are still down there. Still down there. And you got to just know that you did it right, and you're not going to be able to help these people. And you can't just pull them up. I tried bringing people to Denver. They come out here. Most of them come out here. They're doing all right. And then, like some people, they come out here for a second because out here, Denver, you got to work. There is no sitting around like you can sit around in the South. There's no sit around crew. you got to work out here.
Oh yeah,
These places are expensive as hell.
Yeah, that's what gets them. Like that's where I'm like, that's like part of the thing I'm seeing now. Even you got people talking about, oh well, there's a reverse migration to the South. I'm like, yeah, but if y'all are coming back because like you got priced out of another city, unless it's like somewhere like Los Angeles, like that, like a major city, San Francisco, I'm like, dude, you really need to get your skill set set because you don't want to come back to like, oh, I got priced out, so I'm just gonna come hang back down south because that's gonna set you back. Like if you come back,
no. Like you could time travel and you could go back to the South where you can easily live, but that's still not going to put you ahead though. You knew why you moved back to the South, and you didn't adjust to those circumstances. You didn't adjust. You just moved to another area where everybody else is not really all that far ahead either. You really didn't change up anything.
Basically what happened is, because like I said, you are seeing that sort of reverse migration. Now, some of it is, hey, people just like, hey, I'm retiring. I've done my time. I'm tired of the code. You got people like that. But like I said, some people just getting priced out. And I'm like, dude, if you getting priced out because you were thinking, oh, well, I was making, $23, $24 an hour up north, New York City, whatever. Okay, I can't live in the city no more. I'm just going to move south. It's like, dude, that skill set's going to bump you down to like 13 an hour. And like, you're going to have a worse quality of life going on. It's like, dude, you got to make sure, like, if you're going down there, you have skills that are in demand or wherever you're going. Because, like, really what happened is you have people who basically got on the Great Migration. You had different waves of people who went. Some didn't have skills, went and got them when they got there. Or some people just went and worked in the auto factories and made their living that way. But then you had some people who basically just, were able to come and it was cheap enough where they could basically keep the same lifestyle that they had, in like a Detroit or somewhere like that they had in the South. And it's like basically since you got that, you got the network of people, nothing really changed. You still got the same mentality.
Yeah. Especially with them GM Ford jobs that ain't really there anymore. Because I'm not doing that kind of freight anymore either. Because y'all moved to Mexico. Those are good times, man. People assume that stuff was gonna be there forever, and as soon as they had the chance, they left. And all the people were left right along with it. And man, that's where it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I say like you can't like we try to tell these people about success, they got to know, hey, it's not a one-time thing, it's an everyday thing, and really it's a lifelong commitment because like you said, if you go back if you go back, say, probably up until maybe the 70s, 80s. So if you go back roughly 40 years ago, Detroit is the wealthiest city for Black folks in America. Fast forward to it now, 40 years later. Like, yeah, like you said,
but the circumstances were different. I mean, like like GM and Ford had their own bank. That's how these people was buying these houses. They wasn't going to like regular banks getting no mortgages like that. They wasn't doing that. No, but Ford and GM had their own bank. Had their own bank.
Yeah,
it was great. Yeah, and it's like that's why people got to change these outcomes. And you can't make being at the bottom the only thing that you bring to the actual table is the fact that there is no other people that's lower than you. You're the lowest of the low, and there is nobody else lower than. Like, bro, listen, man. All this stuff is effort based right now. All the stuff Martin Luther King was talking about, the content of the character piece, that's where we at right now. You can change all that right now.
Yeah. He had a quote, something like I think he's talking to younger people, but he was basically saying like, hey, like the world is gonna open up for you, and basically like if you can make a mousetrap better than the next man, like people basically come and find you at this point.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, like there is no race specific thing that's stopping anybody from doing anything. If you're just the best at what you're doing, you're just the best at what you're doing, man. And trust me, you got the skills. They're going to come find you. I still get like offers from like project manager jobs, dude. I haven't been in IT in 10 years, but they're still looking for project managers. They're like, "Are you still in the field?" I'm like, "Nah, I left that shit alone a long time ago." Still getting called though. Yo, what's going on, Red Pip? What's going on, man?
Man, how y'all doing today, man? What's good? What's going on?
Oh man, we're going all right. What's going on, man?
Yeah, man. When it comes to people actually trying to hold people accountable, they'll look at us as far as in like us being as like a traitor when we didn't actually even really do anything. We're not the one that actually fucked up the community, right? So when they look at people that have like women that got kids, these niggas that not really doing nothing, like you said, they not really being held accountable. You see what I'm saying? And they're not, and people are not actually looking to them as being traitors. But because we're leaving or we're trying to actually get a result that can actually be substantial, they look at us as traitors, bro. And I had to be real, like, bro, I really don't give a fuck.
No, and you shouldn't, because when these people had all the fun that they were having, they really didn't care about anybody else either. So you can't allow people to use terms that don't fit. Like, you don't deserve the ability to talk about a community. You did everything for self. So now it's time for everybody else to do something for self. Now you want to be included in their self when you know that's not the lifestyle that you led, man. Period. This is why I'm saying all these people coming around, all these women coming around. Oh, black man, I feel your pain. I ain't trying to hear this shit. Get the fuck out of my face. I have nothing to say to you. Go fight the actual problem or bring some reinforcements. We know what the problem is. We don't need to see a pretty. Well, some people do need to see a pretty face telling some stupid shit. But I don't. I never bought it. I never bought into it, and I'm never going to buy into it. It's just like, look, we got these outcomes here. We got these PhDs and fake ass master teachers talking about how much they give a fuck about boys. But look at the content that they do outside of that. Look at the content that they do outside of trying to quote unquote help the boys. It's not on some suppressed progressive shit. It's not on some trying to chase down jobs and get skills and try to lead people somewhere else. It's all about victimhood. Victimhood, victimhood, victimhood. And that's what they thrive off of. That's why they're here. That's what gave them their position is victimhood. So if a person is in the victimhood business, progress is the exact opposite of victimhood. Why don't they give you progress? They can't give you progress. They can't afford to give you progress. They're not some progressive shit.
And what exactly do you mean by reinforcements?
No, reinforcing like usable individuals. Like, don't tell me that you are a good person. Where are the other good people like you? you know, yeah,
Right.
like yeah, yeah, like where's the processing facility of people like you? Stop telling me that you're good. I get that you may or may not be, but where's the production facility? So that way we could be able to use some of what you think you got, right?
Right.
So that's what I'd be on, man. And it's like it's so easy to bullshit people because to most people, hearing a woman say that it's a high for them because they're so surrounded by bad options. Having somebody say some shit like this sounds like a change for them. I'm like, bro, that's pandering, that's platitudes. Maybe better than some shit you ever saw, but that's not change. That's crazy. I'm like, that's not tangible. That's not nothing. But when there's so many people in this type of situation and no people kind of in my situation, they kind of come in and kind of take the attention away from the actual thing, and that's the crazy part about it.
Yeah, you're right. But like the way I feel about it is, you have a lot of women that actually that I think have come to that realization. I don't want to put any names out, but I think it's this one female, she actually married. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think they're all like that. Um,
No,
but
no,
like
but you have to treat them that way so that way they can bring some tangible things to the table. If you universally treated them all like that, they would have to bring something else to the table other than words. That's why I'm saying treat them that way.
oh
Until they
yeah, I can
bring something
definitely agree
tangible
with
that
you
people
on
can
that.
use, treat them that way. That's what I'm on, because I'm willing to be wrong about this. I'm willing to be wrong about this. That's what I'm saying. But I mean, just look. Most of these people are here because their relevance is based on us staying and being unfulfilled. A lot of people don't understand that either. Like a lot of these people, their position don't matter unless there's a lot of disaffected men that stay alongside them here, being unfulfilled. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to protect their relevance here too, and a lot of people don't see that, and they need people around to actually bolster their position. They need people around being unfulfilled to bolster their position. If people could just easily walk off the field and go get their own stuff, then none of this stuff here means anything, which is what I want it to mean. It's nothing. They've had their chance, their time, and meaning everything. So it's like, look, talk about some individual outcomes here. We're not trying to save no group of people. The new group of people are the people who try to separate and do other things. Because remember, this stuff wasn't always this way. There were outliers too at some point. There were outliers. They created their own group out of outliers. Except for to create their actual group, it took really no effort to sit back and just have fun at other people's expense. Now you have to dodge a lot of stuff purposefully and create a new group of people. You have to do the exact polar opposite of what these dudes did to actually create the situation.
Oh yeah. No, the funny thing is, you were there are people talking about change or save this. I'm like, I was at a conference the other week. They said they were getting an example of basically how long it took to change a culture at an organization. There was one person that got appointed, they were saying, to the head of the IRS to basically reform that organization. They said the people who appointed them gave them 10 years because that's how long it was going to take to actually like create substantive change in an organization that big. 10 years. So how long do you think?
Through multiple appointments and generations of heads of the presidency can easily change the outcome of any of these changes in any of these government organizations. 10 years. No, it's not gonna happen, man. You can't change military culture in 10 years. So the Pentagon is still as messed up as it was in the late 90s. Talk to people there who's in the late 90s. Oh, it's been messed up since the 70s. Talk to people still there. Oh man, like bro, this stuff never gonna get fixed. so
Yeah,
so you got to
like
know that you to not step into that to try to change something that is impossible.
my thing is, you said the past 2 generations had the chance to fix this. So me personally, I don't know exactly what happened during those time periods. Why weren't we community minded during those times to get the result that we got right now?
But you have to understand those people were never community minded. They were never community minded. They were responsible for all these problems that we currently have. And it would make all the sense in the world to have the intent before the actual outcome. These people had an outcome before the actual intent. So they're doing it in reverse. They're claiming like they give a damn after everything's already broken. They didn't come in with the idea that things are going to be broken if we keep down this road. This is why you don't believe anybody on this community-minded shit. I don't believe you. Because I don't see nobody being put on trial. I don't see nobody being put on blast. I don't see none of that shit. The only thing I see is people just trying to come here, build platforms off of other people's problems and solve nothing.
Yeah, okay. I guess what you're saying right there, man. So before they even before being community minded, they only came after that shit was fucked up.
Yes. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. So that's why I try to tell the younger generation, bro, like just get your shit together and move on, man. Cause the fact, cause most people don't actually know what actually happened during these time periods. So like a
And
lot
neither
of
should
young,
they care. And neither should they care. They shouldn't care about what happened. They should care about getting better outcomes. Because if you go down that road of trying to be a connoisseur of all this pain, you're going to become one of these street preaching people that is in this space, leveraging the 94 crime bill, leveraging black male pain dealing with a specific subsegment of type of woman that they try to poach off the carousel. That's what happens when you learn too much about this shit. You become compromised by it, and all of a sudden you build a platform based off of it, and now you got to minister all these broken people about this actual situation and not provide them a result. That's why I say don't even fuck about learning about this shit. Just get the best outcome you possibly can. You're on the best ground for to get the best answer you possibly can. You should know about all this dumbass shit that happens. Just see these people in the situation that they're in and the outcomes that they have and just say, okay, I don't want nothing to do with that shit. Nothing to do with it.
Yeah, nothing to do with that shit, man. You feel me? Because they not putting the family first, man. When you have these level of conversation, I'm like, bro, we all have some type of form of different races in us. At the end of the day, we have a group of people who are mostly black, but they're not actually functional. So that's nobody gives a fuck about that. Right now, we got to focus on having a better culture of people who can actually have families and raise these kids in an environment to where like we can continue having generational wealth and having functional families in the future. But man, all these people give a fuck about is skin color, and when you bring up that shit, they view you as a traitor.
You know, I say fuck them. Because you're gonna have to learn to deal. You're gonna have to learn to deal with these people's opinions not mattering. You might as well start today.
Oh yeah,
Because these
most
people's
definitely. I
opinions
don't give a fuck.
don't matter. Yeah. Because these people's opinion don't matter. That's the whole point. And it's just that their opinions need to start not mattering now, so that way you can still not give a fuck about them further in the future. Because what these people are trying to do is they're trying to socialize you into thinking that their fight is your fight when your fight is your fight and their fight is over. They're trying to get other people to fight their fight. That's the whole point here. So
Yeah, man, most that it's almost kind of like what happened the other day with Russell Westbrook. He went like over 11 from the field, man, and it's kind of like, bro, you cannot be putting those kind of numbers up, and you are a starter, bro. And just because you had that track record, don't mean you can still be a starter, bro. So we got to sit you out this game, bro. You gonna have to ride the bench G and get somebody else a chance. So that's how I'm running my life, bro. I'm giving new people a chance to fuck with me who want to run with me, bro. You know what I'm saying?
and that's the way you got to be, because even those people who want to benefit off of being in your position, they want to be the only person that you can turn to. This is why you have to start working with other people early. Because if these are the only type of parasites that you can work with and that become your only track record, it's only working with a certain specific type of people, you're never going to get the shit off the ground. Because you've only been socialized into working with one group of people over another. And this is why these people only want you to have a quote unquote black solution to shit. So that way it'll never work. Like PhDs trying to get behind Ice Cube when Ice Cube is not a political person. And you've seen what happened to his plan after he pitched it out there. The plan is dead in the water. He didn't go keep fighting for it. He went in there, one and done, not doing anything else. And other people gave him the actual credibility. Well, we tried everything. I'm like, no, you didn't try everything. You didn't try the process. You tried everything but the process.
Yeah, I think most people don't even know about the process to begin with. So, they go along with any old thing nowadays, man.
Yeah, and that's just the way it is, man. It's just that they leave younger people like you extremely lost and extremely confused on purpose, because normally people in your position never come in contact with people in my position ever.
Oh, fuck no, man. Like, I'm so lucky for the internet, bro, man. Like, it just leveled the whole playing field for a lot of people. It just depends on how you use it, man.
Yeah, and a lot of people find this shit after they committed a crime, after they served some time, after they did some shit. A lot of these people don't even know. Damn, man, I just could have stayed in school another 5 years, went to go stay with somebody else, put myself in a better position, but I'm doing all this stupid shit because it's easy, and they end up messing their whole life up. And it's like that's the cycle that you got to stop. But the people who are community minded are the people who are putting these kids in these situations in the first place. That's the problem. The community minded people are the problem, because they don't speak out when it's time to speak out. They only want to speak out when it's time to fix shit. Like, nah, man, we ain't got time for that.
Yeah, no, it's funny you said people want the black only solution. We always go back to that all the time when we talk about politics because they're all like, well, you know, they need to do something black men specific. It's like, dude, do you not understand at all that the moment you do something quote unquote black specific, you're playing right into these people's hands, and they're going to destroy it at the first chance they get. Versus, hey, okay, this is for disadvantaged groups, and it's just like, okay, I'll let y'all know, hey, this is coming down the pipe. Go sign up here and go deal with this, because most people aren't going to take advantage, regardless of race, of it anyway. So you basically got to play sleight of hand. But people want, that's the game people try to play to actually fake that, hey, I want progress, but you know, I want to do it I want progress, but I don't want to do it the politically expedient way. I want to do it the most politically least likely way, and then claim I want progress. So I want a blackmail only solution, even though I know it's not realistic, and I'm going to completely go around the solution that could be expedient and actually give people what they need.
Correct. Oh, Johnny Blaze is going on Shonda H. But that's what it is. I mean, like, the process is simple. And you can't say that you don't have examples. You have the Tea Party and you have the LGBT movement. These people came in with money and votes. They're 1 point something part of the population. Yet they get all their shit through. Why? They show up in record numbers every time. And if they're the only person showing up and you ain't showing up, their agenda gonna go through. We're like, well, it's a left wing thing. No, it isn't. They have a 6-3 Republican Supreme Court. If they wanted to remove gay marriage and all their rights, they clearly could do that. They're not doing that for a reason. The money's in the way.
Oh, not to mention too, they didn't go. They didn't say, oh, okay, we just need to switch sides and go to the other side of the party. With nothing promised, no negotiations, no nothing. We just need to either A, sit out, or B, like I said, go to the Tea Party has never threatened to go run to the Democratic Party or sit out. They never threatened to do that.
You know what?
But you got.
We are about to become.
Well, you got some background noise, MOT.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
You there?
Okay, now we can.
Yeah, you
Okay.
good.
I think your headset there went off. No, I was just.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
just saying
yeah.
that,
Wait.
no, I was just saying no. The Tea Party never looked at joining the Democratic Party, and the LGBT movement never looked at going and becoming Republicans. They just went inside the party and followed the process. But we need to, and they didn't talk about sitting out elections either. But
Hell no.
that's
No.
but that's the solution that black men should be doing: sitting out elections or going to the Republican Party with hat in hand.
Or else making it seem like we're just going to sabotage the entire process. Like, no one's going to work with you after you. If that's your strategy, nobody's going to work with you. And I fully endorse not working with these people if that's what they want to do. We got a process here. You see, they're going to follow it, or you're not going to follow it. Because I'm not joining the people's team on not fighting a specific way. I'm trying to fight for an actual benefit that works for everybody involved. Because you're going to have to work with a broad coalition of people anyway. You might as well start with the broad coalition of people out the gate. But if you keep one of these one-size-fit-all solutions that's outside the realms of possibility in the process, you're going to continually keep getting strung along by these people. You're going to keep having it happen. It's going to keep happening until you're going to keep getting more and more frustrated because you can't follow simple ass directions. It's nobody's fault but your own, man.
Yeah, you're right about that, man. As far as like following the process, as far as like getting involved politically and all that. Like I think I said in the last stream, but it's hard for people to actually get to that point, actually want to engage in the political process. Because I feel like a lot of people been scarred in the past, or they feel like their voice is not being heard. So what would those people have to do?
No, you have to understand that most of this voting shit is about stopping bad things from happening. And if you never participated in the process, your ass is at the bottom. So you have to know what is doable and what is not doable, but you still have to participate.
Oh no, most of these people don't participate. Most of these people don't participate. That's what it is. Most of them don't.
They don't. They don't at all. They never have. Yeah. They don't at all. They never have, but they expect progress because everybody else participated. And these are the loudest voices in the room. And I'm like, don't try to go after these people. Vote. They're never going to participate. So don't worry about it.
No, if they actually wanted something done outside of voting, that's when you actually get more sophisticated in your process, and you actually say, okay, This is the actual piece of legislation or the actual agenda that I won't push through, and then you got to figure out where it fits in, because most people don't even understand the distinction of, hey, this is something I need to go to city council about, or this is something I need to go to the state legislature about, or this is something that's going to have to be dealt with at the federal level. Most people can't even put it into those three arenas. That's the main thing, is dudes got to figure out what they actually want, what arena it fits in, and then go forward from there. And then you actually have to have people behind you. That's why you have like all these trade associations in places like DC, because they basically are, hey, they're basically, hey, okay, I'll go lobby on behalf of the industry. What do y'all want? So really, it's not even it. Really, so depending on what they're actually looking for, you may actually have allies out there who actually be good allies if you come with your stuff together and be like, hey, let's go team up. This is all in our common interest. Let's go push this through. But like I said, dudes don't even want to vote, which is the bare minimum, and a lot of that is harm reduction.
And they don't want to team and ally with people. They just want to show up, get their one and done, and disappear off into the night. I'm like, that's how you get used for 48 years, like the evangelicals, to get abortion overturned. But they participated for 48 years and got that. Full participation through wars and everything else to get that overturned. and these people want that type of dedication to their specific issue, but they don't want to participate at all. It's crazy.
And that video you did last week, reviewing those 14 points. You said a PhD wrote that.
What he was actually doing, he was leveraging the collective issues of people from the group and making it into an agenda. It wasn't anything that he was going to fight for. It's just that making people feel represented by having a plan out there with no plan of action to actually put it through. That's what we mean by just having a black only and a black specific plan. That's what it looks like.
Oh yeah.
It looked like something that. Okay.
No, I was gonna say, let's be clear. He was leveraging the political ignorance of the group.
Yes, of course he was. Of course he was. Yeah, because he's in a liberal state, and in a liberal state, you could get a bunch of that shit through. A lot of that stuff is ballot initiatives. But
yeah, I think you brought
it's
up
easy
the
to
point
put together.
Oh my bad.
Yeah,
I think you brought up the point last time to where like other groups have these same kind of problems. I don't remember the whole list, but some of those problems other groups have those as well. So I don't understand why it will only be a black issue.
Nothing is ever a black issue, man. Nothing is ever a black only issue. Equal protection under the law is never a black only issue. Trust me. Whites get fucked over by the government a hell of a lot more than black people do, along the same issues as well. So you just can't. Child support? You think black people are the only people who deal with child support issues? Everybody who have a kid in this society has potential child support issues. So if you just want to have a black male specific plan without working with other people to get this actual thing through, this is a ballot initiative. You can easily get some signatures and get that stuff on the ballot and get that stuff changed. But if you just want to make yourself look like you're representing these people, you're not going to go do the work. And if these people are ignorant of how the process works, they're going to feel represented, and then they're going to do what some of these dumbass people are doing within the space. Oh, yeah, well, we got a plan. Okay, how come the plan isn't being represented? Well, we got a plan. Okay, so you got a plan. No way of implementing the plan, but you have a plan. Okay.
Yeah. No, that's exactly it. That's why there wasn't a solution for a broad-based coalition, because at that point you would have to challenge these people, and you already know they don't understand the process and why it's important. You would actually have to take your time to explain it to them, and then you may actually lose their support, what little support they actually have for it. So hey, you have to pander to people's egos and pretty much keep something in there that you know is not going to go through in any sort of viable form like you constructed it, because you want to, like I said, preserve people's ignorance versus actually like, hey, this is what we have to do for progress.
Yeah, because you got to require something out of people if they want progress bad enough. You got to require a level of participation out of them. But people just want to be represented just so long as they don't have to do the work. They literally just want to be pandered to and have something to complain about. There's no action to solution. There's no action to solution here.
It's the same thing when we talk about with the community thing. That's what they want. Someone to come, put it back together. It doesn't have to make sense, doesn't have to be viable, but it panders to their needs. So we'll give moderate support to it, but we really want you to still do all the work. That's the same thing the whole community mindset is in a nutshell. We want it the way we want it. We want you to do all the work, and then we might show up for something maybe.
Yeah, man, like they want to show up for the ticker tape parade, man. When it's over, after you do the work, man, they don't want it to change because they don't want to get their hands dirty. They don't want to. And what they do to protect themselves is they deliberately avoid learning about the process, deliberately avoid participating in the process, deliberately avoid following proper people who are discussing things properly, and only going up to people who present things in the way that their current ignorance requires no action. That's a problem. But it's pathological in nature, though. It's pathological, and it's the same. It's been the same. And as long as you keep providing them solutions along this same line of ignorance, dude, you can string these people along forever. You literally can.
Yeah, you're right, man. And as far as in like, I know you a lot of times you talk about like your nephews who play Xbox and shit, and just giving them the information, man. So, like for somebody like you, right? How was it as far as like sharing the information with younger people? Like, what feedback do you usually get when you talk to like people around like your nephew's age range?
Well, you have to understand that with kids, like seeing is believing. You know, they're going to listen. They're going to listen. They're not going to practice it. Then they're going to keep. And then once they see results of what you said and how simple it was to actually implement, and it's the same thing because kids don't have a level of trust because they're always being lied to by their parents and shit to try to cover up problems. Like that's the problems that I have with my nephews and shit. Is because their dad's a piece of shit, or their mom's a piece of shit, or they're both a piece of shit overall. So everything that the child goes through, he knows is real world, but every adult that's close to him that he can't trust at all. But this is normal to them.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have a person, you have to take them from that level of not trusting adults, period, and only trusting people within this peer group to actually, no, man, it's the same answer. It's the same answer to everything. You can't be doing shit like that. It seems easy because it's wrong, but you have to find out a better way. And then, like all of a sudden, their grades change, their outlook change. Their outlook change because they see themselves not being under control of these horrific adults. They see a place for them. They're joining the rest of the people who's going somewhere. And it's hard to see inside of a household when you're so around that kind of abuse 24 hours a day. Because, just normally just playing like, games online when we're actually just talking about shit and actually how to resolve it while he's doing something recreational or they think he's doing something recreational. You're actually solving all his problems and you're letting them know that you are going to solve this problem. Better adults ain't gonna come around. You got to make better decisions, and it's the better decisions on his part, getting him invested in his own future rather than waiting on other people to do it for you.
Yeah, real spill. And like me personally, that's how I see community, man. Like this whole thing where everybody gonna come as a collective and make this shit work. Like, no, that's not gonna. I don't see it working like that, man. I see it more as like an individual, man. So the people that I talk to, or the people that I come around, hey, I put them on game of what they need to be doing and how they need to be moving. And like you said about the passport, bro, shit, like, bro, you just gotta live it, bro. Like, I don't have to come on the internet and even announce this shit. Like, bruh, you see how I'm moving, you see the places that I'm going or places I will be going, and how I'm moving. So my life is a testament of what I'm saying.
You don't see me doing live streams at the port, putting my putting the business that I'm potentially gonna be in out there, showing off the boat I'm fucking standing and shit. Like, dude, I don't give a damn about that shit. This is a lifestyle for me.
Now
It
you got to
ain't new
show
to
your
me.
woman too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, bro, get out of here, man. Like, listen. The whole point of doing this stuff was to keep it away from y'all anyway. Why would I turn around and go back on all of that just to do what? For what reason? When I don't even care about these people's opinion in the first place. But that's what it is, man. It's just the age of where we at. It's where most of these people heads are at. But you just gotta be smart enough to just move around all that stuff, man. That's all.
Yeah, most def, man. When it comes to this save your community black man, yeah, I'm just good off that, man. I'm definitely good off that. Uh Ain't really no saving at this point, man. Easy because the information is literally already out there, how this happened and where we going. So you gotta choose a side. You feel me? Like if you don't want to take accountability of the bad decision you made and you trying to pass that shit on to somebody else who don't really have that much information about that, then that's all you, man. But I'm not the person that's gonna be the cleanup man. Like I refuse to do that.
What it is it's cleanup man rhetoric, and I do agree with them that somebody should clean it up. But I want the people who created it to clean it up. I don't want
Right.
nobody else responsible. I don't want any responsible person without no chances to be involved in this process. You and the people who created this is going to be the people who are going to be cleaning it up. These people haven't had a chance yet. But, like, a lot of people get socialized into thinking that this is their fight when it's not their fight at all.
Exactly. Like I would love to see everybody who had a baby, their first baby, go with the person they had their kid by. If
Yeah.
y'all really want to be community minded, I would love to see that, and then we'll talk. But just to have new individual come into a broken situation, nah, y'all got me fucked up.
Yeah. And that's the appropriate response. But it's not culturally appropriate because there's another thing going on here that people also don't get. You're signaling that, hey, somebody's going to clean this stuff up eventually. Let's all keep and be on the same stuff that we currently are on, because somebody's going to clean this up someday. We don't know who, and it ain't going to be us. But someday somebody's going to feel sorry for us and clean it all up for us. It's like, come on, man. Come
Yeah,
on,
so
man.
they on the same trajectory.
Yeah. It's yeah. They're on the same stuff that put them there, but they want everybody else to think that they're victims. I'm like, no, you're not victims. I'm cool with you being where you're at. They're cool with them being where they're at. So I'm cool. It's just like, look, I understand you don't want to be in any circumstances. You may or may not want to be, but at the end of the day, you're responsible for it. That's it. The answer is you have to fix your own stuff. You made the mess. You have to clean up. This isn't a store. We're not public servants. We're not like, look, it's like this. If you weren't playing with them matches and that lighter by the curtains, the fire department wouldn't be here. All right. So the fire department's here because something's on fire. The fire department isn't just driving around neighborhoods waiting on the fire to happen. They're called to a very specific location when there's a fire. So, yeah, that's what we on.
Yeah, man. And just to hear about I think it's your grandfather who you like you talked to, like what you referred to when you were growing up, like the one that gave you all the information you have now.
Yeah. And it's like, they used to point people out in the family. Like, there were like live examples of what not to do based off of people in the family, them getting kicked out of the family. Like, we used to do that shit. We used to kick well, not me personally, but I've seen it happen when people get disowned, people get kicked out of the family, they're told to leave town and they can't come back around. I witnessed that within my lifetime.
Yeah, like I noticed that too. Like I had my friend the other day, man. He just said he having a baby, and I'm like what did your
Like, the
father
fuck?
say? And I'm like, he was like what he said was, "Oh, congratulations," and all this other shit. And I'm like, bro, like when I talked to him, I grilled him. I'm like, bro, what the fuck wrong with you, bro? Like I gave him all the stuff that he had to do. I don't know if you know this one YouTuber, but his name is I think it's Tech G. He working like cybersecurity. So I told, hey, bro, about like last year, like bro, go do that. Every like what you said, right? As far as like giving people the information, and if they don't do anything with the information, you got to move on, bro. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I've been doing. But but motherfuckers just don't listen, man. So it's kind of like I don't really see those type of people here. You see what I'm saying? For the most part, those are like a small number of people.
Listen, man, like, dude, and my channel is not supposed to be this big. It's a solution based channel, pointing out problems, then their solution. Solution is leave this shit alone. Solution is these people are gonna keep coming up with different terms and phrases to dress up the fact that this shit is somebody else's responsibility to fix and not theirs. That's all it is. A shifting of blame from one group of people to the next group of people. And then, like, some people listen, be like, "Oh man, you pointed out all this stuff." Like, come on, man. Like, okay, you never go to the channels and pages where people are actually being on that nonsense. They get no criticism, man. None. So, but that's where we at, man. You can't really help most of these people, man. And in this process thing, it's gonna be a solo trip that you're gonna be on by yourself. And there ain't gonna be nobody with cameras, and no one's gonna be celebrating this shit, nothing. But I'm just telling you, get started today, because there's going to be a time like this where there's going to be outcomes, and you don't want to be the people waiting on everybody else to fix this stuff for you.
Oh yeah, most def, man. I'm gonna take 100% accountability of my outcomes, man. I'm not passing the blame on nobody. If I fuck up, I fuck up, and I take full accountability of that shit, man. I hope everybody else do the same for them, man. Ain't no reason for you to pass the blame on to somebody else, especially if you made that mistake multiple times.
Okay, so what happens if? Okay, so let's say that you have the mind state that you have. Think about the mind state that you gain when other people come and correct the shit on your behalf every single time you mess up. What happens then?
I'm gonna keep making the
What
same
does that teach
mistake.
you? Of course you would. Of course you would. because there's no real consequences for the actions. And that's where we're at. We got two groups of people. One group of people who want people to fix everything for them, and then we got the other group of people who want to benefit off of everything. But then there's this third group of people, the people who actually don't need to have any interaction with the other two groups. That's the kind of group that I'm trying to create.
Yeah, definitely. You gotta hit rock bottom, man. It's almost like somebody who's addicted to drugs, man. Like if you keep giving that person money or shit like that at the store, he gonna keep being on drugs. But once he flat out broke, he have nothing left, then he'll come to his senses to be like, damn, I fucked up, man.
Yeah, hopefully.
And we gotta get to that level, bro.
Yeah, hopefully. No, but the thing is that I don't care whether it does or whether it doesn't work out that way. I'm just putting the information out there so people can change their own shit. But these people are here to hang out, man, and I can't really, affect the type of change with people that I think I can. So.
Yeah, the YouTube definitely become the barbershop, the 10 o'clock gas station conversations,
Yeah.
But there's nothing we can do, man. We outnumbered, so we just gotta move with the people that we got and just keep it moving, man.
Yeah, and the thing is, man, if you're doing it right, you're always gonna be outnumbered. So you might as well learn how to deal with that pressure now, rather than trying to do it in an untimely fashion. So I'm not really because like I said, man, all this stuff is pretty easy and simple for me to do and talk about. I help so many people with it, and a lot of people came far better than they were, and they didn't understand that they just didn't believe in themselves enough to take the action on their own.
Yeah, it reminded me of that story you were talking about the other day when the dude didn't take his own advice, but he gave it to like his brothers and sisters. A lot of people don't believe in themselves.
No, they don't. And it's like his brother and sisters ended up in a way better position than him, and he still went to jail for like 15 years after he told him the shit. like he didn't leave the street shit the fuck alone. He got them in a better position, and he still didn't leave the street shit alone. So it's like, man, at that point, man, you just gotta let them roll out, man. So
yeah,
that's what I'm on, man.
Yeah.
All right, man. So I gotta get up out of here, man. You got any final words before we get up out of here?
Oh no, man. Just keep doing what you're doing, man. We all around here, bro.
Yeah. So, all right, man. Well, thanks for coming through again, man.
All right, man. Be easy, bro.
You're welcome to come up anytime the links drop. You're welcome to come up, man. So,
All right, for sure.
all right, cool, man. All right, all right, man. So this is what I'm saying, right? All these things is cleanup man rhetoric. They're cleanup man rhetoric. I do agree that somebody should clean this stuff up. I don't agree that it's the people without any experience in life that have to clean it up. If we keep outsourcing the responsibility to people who are not responsible, we're going to be chasing our tails forever. You got to be able to act like other successful groups of people if you want to be able to move forward. That's why I want you to work with other groups of functioning people very early, so that way they can be your actual track record of actually working with functional people, and stop trying to have a black only solution that doesn't work at all. Most of these people here got here because of following the wrong type of people. You have a choice not to do that shit. You really have a choice to do that. And you don't need anybody else's help in being more responsible and being more accountable. This is your responsibility, not theirs. They're waiting on somebody else to put the work in because they're not going to do the work themselves. So this is what the stay your black ass here shit's about. This is what the steal your ass back shit is about. And definitely this is what the save your community black man shit is about. It's about taking a problem and making somebody else responsible for an issue that is not theirs, and pushing it over to people who is not the responsibility of. Everybody deserves good outcomes, man. But you gotta make sure that you plan that shit inside and out. I want to thank you guys for coming through on the Man Tomorrow. Like, share, comment, and subscribe, and you guys have a really nice day. Peace.